Namato Ratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. So today is Thursday, the 23rd of July in 2020. So this is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. So as usual, I'm here with you all tonight to share and to be with you. So hi Margaret, Manish, Narpat and everyone. Good evening. As usual, this time we are preparing for the Saturday's event, the ordination. And this afternoon I felt so tired that I couldn't concentrate even a small items to do. I was so tired, and as a result I thought, okay, I better have a rest. And I slept like a log. So tiredness, you need a more rest, right? So same thing I did today. And it was a long rest. But somehow again I realized that I have to be here for the talk. So I get up and get ready for tonight again. It's quite interesting to know that although this body is not belongs to us, and yet we are so relying on this body. Although in Buddhism we study and we contemplate that this body is not mine, we have to leave it behind, and yet we still need to look after, take care. And as a monk, and especially as being the main person at the temple, so many responsibilities to fulfill. Sometimes it's very invisible work. If you are at work, then no one will see it and you will not be paid. But anyway, so I felt very tired, so I rested. And it's form of a giving. Right? It's a form of a loving. It's a form of a taking care. When we talk about the giving again, it's not easy to give. Things that we don't like, it's very easy to give away. I think I have mentioned about it in previously too. But things that we really like, or things that has got the value in it, it's not easy to give away. It's a really difficult time. Difficult. And even the section of dukkha that I have mentioned, the First Noble Truth, there is a section known as Piyehi Vipayoko Dukkho. Separation from loved one or loved thing is suffering. And as a result of that, the more the grasping or craving to things, it's not easy to give away. So that's why the giving has been a primal part of the teachings of the Buddha, as a gradual teachings, so-called, which starts off from giving. And the second teachings that the Buddha gave is about the heavenly world that one can attain in the heavens, and so forth. There are 5 teachings, also known as gradual teachings. But today I would like to focus on the theme of a giving, which I will be connecting with the teachings on the third noble truth, which is the Nirodha, or the cessation, or the end, or the Nibbana. And last night I mentioned about letting go, that the Buddha taught in the third noble truth, that Chago Patinissaku Mutiyanalayu, which is, I gave a simile of 4 types of dustbins inside our house, and gradually how deeply we will be able to detach and let it go. And also mention that letting go is something that is not that we want it to go because we don't like it, but it is, once we have understood properly, only then letting go happens as a result. It's not we try to let it go, but we learn to know and let it go happens. So here today, I just want to concentrate on giving, that it's not easy. And especially the giving part become the primal teachings of the Buddha to the householders. Simply because as being a householder, you have to go for a work to earn the money, to earn a livings. And you have spent so much time, so much energy to get some amount of your salary or of your effort. Like in the UK, I think a minimum wage is £8.50 or something around the £8. So every one of us, if you are going to work in the UK, you will get £8 per hour. And once you are paid, and you have this tendency to grasp on it, that this is mine. This is mine because I have spent this much of time, I have spent this much of energy. And with this, you have this tendency to grasping on to the earnings. And every time when you have to give away even a small piece of it, like let's say even the 1p out of the £8 that you have earned, is not easy because of the effort and the time and energy that you have spent on it. And with this, it's not just a pound or the 2 or the £8 that you have earned and you become attached to it. And gradually, as you earn and you try to accumulate more and more, and the more you accumulate, and the attachments become more and unable to let it go. So that's why Buddha is simply encouraging us to learn to let go, or learn to share. And again, sharing or giving or let go is not easy job, as I said. So as a result of that, in order to give away something, you need a lot of courage and energy to give away. Even just to say that I will give £10, let's say, to the temple, or even just thinking about it, to give away the £10 to the temple, is not a simple job. It needs a lot of courage. And further on, even after you have said, you have thought to give and to say verbally, harder too. That saying, okay, Achan, I will donate for temple 10 pounds. It's very hard to do. And not only saying is harder, but physically doing it even more harder too. But the difference is when you thought about giving, you're still keeping to yourself. But when you have said, then you become bound by your own speech. And as a result of that, giving, physically giving, is becoming more harder. And after given away again, giving it completely without having any thought of where it has gone, where it has been implemented, how this money been used, it's not easy too. And it's simply because of the attachment or because of this belonging we have developed from the early time of earning. And we want to see whether it has been used properly or not. Like that. So, and as a result of that, Buddha had cleverly laid down the path to learn to let go. And that's, again, the ways of the Buddhism. So Buddhist monks will go around early mornings for the alms. In Asia, and particularly in Aberdeen, we used to do it, but since the coronavirus, we have stopped and haven't been started yet, and I don't know when we can start it again. So basically, monks will go around collecting the alms without saying, "Give me the food." And there's been ways to encourage people to learn to do givings. At least giving to the monks much easier, because it's been widely known that the monks do not go working for earning. They will live in the temples and practice and study the teachings of the Buddha, live an exemplary life, and teach the teachings of the Buddha for them and apply into their life. And it's been one of the responsibilities of householders to support, regardless of any conditions. And with this, there is this confidence and faith has developed, and it's easy to give. It's psychologically easy to let go or give away to the monks and ascetics and priests. And this way, it's simply paving our ways, paving our mind, training our mind to go in that path, to learn to give away things. Learn to give away things slowly, as a material giving. And I've been contemplating on this for such a long time, that why Buddhism or Buddha taught householders to learn to give as the first foundations in the Buddhism. And why Buddha gave the second principles is to learn to develop or cultivate the mind, and only then wisdom part. But in the West, as we know that the majority of people interested in meditation rather than practicing morality or giving generosity. And my understanding is, as long as you haven't learned to give, it's very difficult to be free from your emotional attachment. But the very moment when you have learned how to give away material things, as it's become a custom, as it's become a usual, and your mind become accustomed and trained in that way, you will be able to let go emotional attachment that you have, or traumas that you have, abuse that you have. And that's I normally call emotional giving. I call it things that you have but you don't like it, but it's very hard to give it away. Yeah. So in the material things that you don't like, it's very easy to give away. And the second stage is emotional things, emotional attachment, or emotionally damaged, the previously damaged or emotionally hampered, that is, we don't like it, but it stays with us rest of our life. And yet we know that these emotional damages that have done to us is hurting us. It's making us down and making us not confident, not comfortable, and always haunting our minds and our heart. And we know that we have to let it go. We have to move on, and yet we cannot give it away. So that's why emotionally, things that is not things that we don't like it, and yet it's very difficult to give it away unless we have learned to give away from the small part of things, small bit of things, starting from giving a food, giving small donations. And gradually it's become nurturing the mind. It nurtures the mind into the soften to let go. And gradually you will be able to let go of your emotional traumas. But if you haven't learned to give it away or learn to give, it's very, very difficult, or maybe you cannot give. So the first practice is to learn to give material things away without having any judgment, without having any expectations in return. And that's how that's been practiced in a Buddhist culture as being a part of the Buddhism. Giving dana, starting giving dana, food to the monks, and gradually you will expand your giving to the more and more. And later the second part is simply you will be able to let go of your traumas, emotionally attached incidents, things that emotionally damaged you, your way of life. So this is the second part of the giving that you can develop later on. And sometimes people say that, okay, you have to develop, or you have to let go, or you have to let go of these past traumas, past emotionally attached things, whether it is love or whether it is suffering, memories that we are so attached to it. But if we haven't learned to let go of give away things, then it will be very difficult to let go emotions too. Both, whether it is happiness or the unhappy memories. So we have to learn from giving a small bit of things, small pounds. And the fourth giving that I have understood is known as the chaga. Now this chaga comes in the third noble truth as the first part. Chaga here is ability to give yourself for the other's benefit. It is a compassionate heart here. And without expecting anything in return once you have done the good things. In recent past, I have been contemplating on this third character, that the third part of the giving, or the compassionate giving, is that in our lives, it's very easy to do things that we like, that makes us comfortable, that makes us happy. And in that moment, we're simply thinking of our own happiness, our own comfortable. But we are not thinking of anything make others benefit or happiness. So that's why I normally reflect it as the benefit. And always check whether that is benefit for yourself, or whether that is benefit for others, or whether that is benefits for both parties. And according to the Buddha, Buddha's teachings is not beneficial for only you, not beneficial for only others, but it should be beneficial for both parties, and only then regarded as the beneficial action. But in the world, particularly in the modernity or modern world, we all become selfish. We all become selfish in different levels and different ways. We all think of our own comfort. We all think of our own satisfaction. We all think of our own benefits. So that's why it's very easy to do things for us. And we will neglect others' safety or others' benefit. In every sector we can see that. But doing for something to someone is not easy job. And again, doing for something for others without any expectation is even harder. Even harder. Forget about this modern time of this so-called production and reproduction ways, which Karl Marx theory on the capitalism. Karl Marx speaks that we are all in a production to reproduce things, and we become a consumer ourselves. So in that case, the boss wants employers to work more in a less wages. At the same time, the staffs or the employers would do anything to work less, uncomfortable, but paid more. So it's a battle between both sides. But anyway, in Buddhism, that's why doing for something to someone without expectation, but for their well-being and happiness, is known as compassion, that we have to develop, that we have to practice. And that is, I normally call it chaga, or the compassionate work. In a way, in Mahayana Buddhism, this is the bodhicitta. Basically, you are taking the vow to be the bodhisattva who will not enter to the nibbana until every single beings have freed themselves from suffering. So this is the third giving. It's not easy. And the last giving, what I have known, is the ego. It's called the personality view, or the Sakkaya Ditthi. And this is basically, we always have this attachment to ourselves. This is me, this is mine, this is I am. No? Normally I call it I making, my making. And we have so much attached to our own self, our own beauty, our own status, our own fame, gain. And with that, what happens is we're still wandering in this worldly life, and which has also developed the concept of a differentiation between one person to another, boundaries after boundaries, and holding on to the view that I am for eternal. I am I am the best. I am the one. I am. Now I have done this. This is me. This is mine. Like that. So holding on to this personality view blocks the enlightenment, blocks the letting go, blocks the attachment. And all Buddha's teachings is basically to attain this personality view as the wrong view, and ability to let go of our own self, that my eyes are not mine, my nose are not mine, my ears are not mine, this whole body in a way is not mine. I need to let go of it without having any attachment to it. So become a dispassionate. So viraga develops, lost, extinction of the lost, and dispassionate. Ability to discern completely, and ability to let it go. The so-called ego. So in that moment, we become the Sotapanna, or one who is working on the path to the liberation, the stream enterer. One who will not come back and do any unwholesome actions that will take us to the cycle of a birth and a death, and again facing to this world of suffering. But this time, this moment, you have achieved the noble path, being a noble hood. And that is the first ladder, and that is the first stage of being a true Buddhist. In the stage where there is no boundaries in between any beings, there's simply a compassion is there, and then simply has given letting go, has done completely letting go. So to summarize it, tonight I just want you to know that small giving, do not think that is a small, but that small giving is like a seed that you have planted that will grow gradually and become a firm and established, and at the end we will get the giant tree, like an oak tree, for hundreds of thousands of years. And let this seed grow in your heart of letting go from a small bit until you are able to let go of your entire sense of belonging, the personality view, the Sakaya Ditti. So, thank you everyone for listening. I end here for tonight's talk. May you be happy, peaceful, and see you tomorrow. In a few minutes' time, there will be a chanting and guided meditation. Thank you.